Welcome everybody, and we're going to take a swing here at taking our first online unit test. Our goal in doing this is trying to make this feel and look as much like taking a unit test would feel if we were at school. The only difference that you should find is that you'll be submitting your answers not on a bubble sheet, but you'll be submitting your answers through a Google form. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to step you through the way that we'll be administering this test and give you some ideas on how to be successful. So starting here with our home, when you open up our website, obviously the first thing you'll do is you'll click on General Chemistry. Once you've clicked on General Chemistry, depending on if you are an A or a B day student, you will use the links on those particular days in order to access the test. So we'll pretend that we are all A-Day students right now, and you'll see that the B-Day links are very, very similar. So in order to take this test, you obviously will not need to click on this first link because that link goes to the video that you're currently watching. So what you'll do is the first thing that you're going to want to do is follow the link that opens up the test. So clicking here, you'll see that the test is a PDF document. It's actually 12 pages long. Don't be intimidated by that. These questions are largely multiple choice, and consequently the test got long. When you access the test, you have a couple options in terms of the way that you approach taking this. Probably one of the two options would be to simply print the test. And you're certainly welcome to do that. It will take up a little bit of paper, but if you print this test, then I think that you'll find that taking this test will feel a lot like taking a test that we were taking as if we were in school. If you choose not to print it, or if you don't have the ability to print it, then what you will want to do is grab another sheet of paper. And eventually that sheet of paper will run you through question 77. There are 77 questions on the test. And what you can do is you can scroll through the test, as you can see I'm doing here, and you can simply write down the numbers, the question numbers, and then your answers for those questions. So again, you can print the test and circle your answers, or if you'd like to just use another sheet of paper and number and write down your answers as you go, that is certainly an option as well. You'll notice that the test is largely multiple choice. As we go through the test begins with multiple choice questions, and those multiple choice questions continue down through question 45. Beginning in question 45, the test actually becomes free response. Now, in order to try to streamline this, what we've done is we've taken the free response questions and we've actually made them short answer. So for example, if we look together at the very first free response question, which is a mass problem, you'll notice that you're given a balanced equation and then you're given a question to answer. In this case, it says, use the provided dimensional analysis grid, the one below, to calculate the total mass of water that would be produced when 32.0 grams of copper is completely consumed in the reaction up above. And you'll notice that what we've done is we have filled out the dimensional analysis grid. I know that this is probably leading a little bit in terms of how we will be solving this problem, but you'll notice that the structure for the solution is given to you, and then there are blanks in which you'll be writing the numbers that you would have written as if you were solving the problem. So for example, then number 46 would be the place where you would write down the mass of copper that you would start this problem with. Then you've got your first conversion that has both a numerator and a denominator, and you would be writing those numbers in those spaces. And you'll notice then that these numbers these spaces have numbers corresponding to them that are actually question numbers on the test. What you'll do then when you get to the place in the Google form where you'll be submitting these answers, what you'll actually be doing is typing these numbers into the Google form. Now, please understand you will not be putting units. That's important that you understand that. You will not be putting units, and you do need to be aware of significant digits because those will also be important for you to get these questions correct. Another thing perhaps to think about is, say, for example, in this space, you wanted to put the number, and this isn't the answer, but say that you wanted to put the number 0.1, let's choose a different number. Say that you wanted to put the number, let's do that, 0.125 grams. And that is clearly not what would go in that space. But what would you enter? Well, one of the things that you could enter is just simply 0.125. Notice that we're not going to use the units. But the other thing that will be allowable if you have come to use this convention is you could put a 0 before the decimal place. In the solutions, we do that just to keep track of that decimal. So either one of these would be an acceptable way to enter the number 0.125. And so either one of those would work. So you will continue on then. You will solve this dimensional analysis problem. That takes you through number 53. Then there's a follow-up question based on this question that talks about a yield of water. And then it's asking you to calculate a percent yield based on that. Then you'll notice that when you go on to the next page, that we have another mass problem. Notice on this one that the equation is not balanced, but we've given you spaces to balance this equation. We are not associating the balancing of the equation with points on the test, but you will, of course, need that in order to fill out the mass problem. And then finally, we have a limiting reactant problem. Notice that we've given you the balanced equation and then the structure around which you would do you would be doing your calculating. Notice here for number 69 and number 75, we've given you spaces to divide by the numbers that are necessary in order to correctly solve this problem. Those will be whole numbers, and hopefully that makes sense to you. And then notice down below there is one follow-up question, number 77, which is multiple choice. Based upon your above calculation, which one of these is the limiting reactant? Is it calcium or is it HCl, which is hydrochloric acid? So when you have filled in number 77, you are then done with the test. So with that said, let's go back for a second now, and let's look at what it looks like to then enter your score, enter your responses for the test. So we will do this as if you're my student. Notice here, it says response entry for me. So within that response entry, we will go ahead and click on that link right here, and you'll notice that it opens up a Google form. So what you will do is you will obviously type in your name, you will type in your class period, and then you'll click on next. Now understand that you only have one opportunity to do this. You cannot start this and then go back and do it again. So once you commit to following this link, it will not allow you to do this more than once. So notice then that once you've entered your information, you come into the place where you'll be entering your answers. Notice it goes 1 through 45. Then starting on number 46, you will start typing in your answers. Notice, like we talked about before, you'll be typing in the numbers that fill in the blanks. Again, for the example we looked at, which isn't the answer, if you wanted to enter 0.125 grams of copper, which it's not, you could put 0.125 or just 0.125. Again, do not put units and be careful of significant digits. Then you'll continue along with that. Then on question number 77, where you're identifying which is the limiting reactant, again, that comes back to multiple choice with A or B, and then you'll click submit. Do not expect to get your performance on the test when you click submit. We've actually disabled that for obvious reasons. So when you click submit, your scores will be recorded. If you want a copy of your responses, you're welcome to turn this on, but understand that it will not tell you whether those answers are right or wrong. And so that is how you will then submit your answers to the test. So again, you're currently watching this video. The test is located here. You'll use these links, or if you're one of my B-Day students, that link in order to submit your test performances. Now, guys, again, as I mentioned, please be careful with this. You get one opportunity to follow this link. And so do not open that link until you have completed the test, however you choose to do that, whether it's by printing it or following along with a blank sheet of paper. Please do not follow the submission, the response entry link until you're completely ready to do that. And then, guys, I think the only other things we need to talk about are, first of all, please remember, just like in class, the day of the test is also the day that all late homework for that unit is due. For obvious reasons, you need to have done the homework in order to be ready for the test. So if you are an A-Day student, all late homework from that unit is due on the 16th at midnight. If you're a B-Day student, all late homework for this unit is due at midnight on the 17th. In addition to that, when is the test due? And the answer is the test is due the day it's assigned. So if you're an A-Day student, the test is due on the 16th at midnight. If you're a B-Day student, the test is due on the 17th at midnight. Should you miss those deadlines, we will allow you to turn in the test late, but it will be at a 10% penalty. So please get your test turned in on time. If there's a reason that is not possible for you, you need to make sure that you reach out to your teacher, either me or Miss Call via email. If we don't hear from you, we will assume that you are planning on turning in your test on time. Then finally, the last thing that we need to talk about, because this is a take-home test, is what can and can't you use on this test. And guys, because this is a take-home test, we are going to be very liberal in terms of the things that you can use on the test. There is not a time limit. Normally when we take tests in class, it's the length of the class period. That does not need to be the case. Obviously, there's no way for us to monitor that. So the time limit is simply given by when you choose to start the test and midnight of the day that it's due for you. So you're welcome to use as much time as you like. You're also welcome to use whatever resources you want. You're welcome to use the internet. You're welcome to use your notes. You're welcome to use class notes. You're welcome to use homework. And you're also welcome to use classmates. The thing that we ask that you not do on this test is call in expert support. And what we mean by that is if you have a friend that is in my AP class, or ever has been, please don't ask them. If you have a parent that has a background or a sibling or anybody that has an advanced background in chemistry, please do not pursue them either. The thing that we don't want you doing is handing off the work to somebody else. If you choose to work with other current students on this, that's totally fine because you're engaged in the work. If you're using supplemental resources to work on these problems, that's fine because that's you engaging in the process. The thing that we don't want you to do again is to just find the expert to either guide you through this or provide support, because that's no longer you doing the work, and therefore your performance would not be a reflection of your abilities but theirs. So again, you're welcome to use whatever resources you want, just do not involve the support or guidance of somebody that might be considered an expert, if you will. So guys, that's it. That's the way the test is going to work. We will then come back after the weekend and we'll start the next unit. And we'll look forward to engaging with you all through our Q&A sessions. Again, if you need more support for any reason in the midst of this, reach out to your teachers via email. And we hope that you're well. We miss you guys tremendously. And we appreciate all that you're investing in making this successful. And hopefully we're going to find out we get back together before June. But again, reach out if we can help, and good luck with the test. Take care, y'all.